Ever since I could remember, from at least the age of 10 years old, I wanted to be a teacher. So why did I quit my teaching job after not even 2 years of teaching? In this video, I'm going to be giving guys all the tea about why I quit, why I will likely never go back to a teaching job or any traditional job ever again, how I was not only able to survive but thrive without a secure source of income. And if you watch this video till the very end, I'm going to be telling you how you can get access to my free downloadable guide for new and expecting moms. So without any further ado, let's just jump right into it. So before I jump into the good stuff, I want to first bring it back a little bit and talk about my journey into the classroom so that you guys can understand that it wasn't even easy becoming a teacher as I thought it would be. I was actually a part of the Teaching Fellows program. Just to keep it short and sweet for you guys, pretty much before you start teaching in September in the classroom, you have to go through a summer intensive. Like, without any teaching skills, without any prior teaching knowledge, you're jumping straight into a summer school classroom. I had a 6th grade middle school classroom, and you guys, they were bouncing off the wall. This particular classroom was very challenging, and so that affected my rating, my score as a summer fellow, and I almost did not even make it through this program, but came through in the clutch, because what I do not do is lose or allow myself to just throw in the towel. So I went hard. I did everything that I needed to do. Now, got through the summer, took 2 trips, because after that I was done. But then in September was when I officially started teaching at my designated school. I was at a high school now, and with the Teaching Fellows program, not only are you teaching, but you are also in grad school. So I knew I was going to be doing 2 more full years of grad school. So needless to say, a lot on my plate, brand new career. And I thought that I had really just reached a pinnacle and I was doing everything that I truly wanted to do. This is what I thought at the time. As fate would have it, I was meant to start teaching on a Monday. The Sunday before I started teaching, I actually started to have a conversation with a family friend. And that's pretty much how my journey into investorship and entrepreneurship started. So literally one night before I start my teaching career in full is when I got introduced to this whole new world that was very far off from the traditional unionized world that I was about to be entering. So I get into the classroom, I start teaching, and very quickly I realized that this was not what I wanted to do. How many of you guys have ever entered a new career thinking like, you know what, I got this. I finally found something that suits what I want, what I've always needed. And very quickly you realize the gag is. That's how I was feeling when I entered the classroom. I was not happy going into work. I didn't even think about it, but I was working for the state of New York, which is a very, very different ball game when you work for the government. So there was a lot of politics and dynamics and structure that I was not prepared for. So what I realized very quickly is that I do love teaching, but I actually love teaching people that are excited and want to be there. And it was very few and far in between. A lot of my students did not want to be there, did not care for what was being taught. To be quite frank, I did not care for what was being taught either. I was just kind of going through the motions. And then I realized in general, the environment was filled with people that did not want to be there, students and teachers and administration alike. So guys, just imagine I was getting a taste of what it felt like to be an investor and an entrepreneur, all while still balancing this brand new career, knowing that I had at least 2 years out before I could really sit down and think and reassess my whole life. Let's talk specifically about what led me to quit. So in January of 2021, I found out that I was pregnant. My estimated due date was September of 2021, which I knew was going to be leading me into the following school year. Before I even got pregnant, guys, like I said, I knew I had 2 years ahead of me, and that was really as far as I wanted to go in terms of teaching. I wanted to at least finish the grad program and be done. So June of 2021 was already looking like a time for me where I was going to be leaving the profession altogether. So I found out in January 2021 that I was pregnant and that I was going to be giving birth in September of 2021. I went through all of that, finished grad school, finished the school year, went through the summer, and I give birth at the end of September 2021. So the minute I got pregnant, it was kind of like double, triple confirmation for me that there's a reason why you are feeling this way, and there's even more reason now for you to stay at home and not even return to work because you're going to have a newborn. But when the time was inching closer and closer, it did get scary for me because Now it was less of a theory or an idea, and it was really time to put my money where my mouth was and actually leave the workforce. I gave birth and I got 6 weeks of maternity leave. This is like the standard in the United States. I know some jobs give 12, some jobs give none. The Department of Education gives 6 weeks of maternity leave and plus whatever other sick days you have, but that's not what they're giving you. That's just what you have, and you could use that as well. Altogether, I had 8 weeks off, and if you have ever had a baby, you know that at 8 weeks, there's still so much that your little newborn needs. And I just could not fathom and could not even think about leaving my daughter home after just 8 short weeks. On top of that, I was nursing her and I was having a lot of struggles in the very beginning around nursing. And I knew that it was only going to get more challenging if I actually did go back to work. So I knew that I was able to take an extended leave without pay, and that's exactly what I did. Well, a lot of you guys are probably wondering, how were you able to survive with this sudden cut in your income? Well, a couple of things worked in my favor. I got the maternity leave check and I was able to really stretch that out because I cut back on a lot of my lifestyle. In addition to that, I have been saving aggressively for the previous 18 months. I made a whole video about it. Go watch that video after this one if you have not already seen it. And I didn't even know why I was saving so aggressively, but I started to save my money, and it really was for this moment. That savings gave me peace of mind to really start working on my business and my investments without feeling like I was drowning and struggling. And I was really able to utilize some of the money that I saved to get some peace of mind and continue on and not feel indebted or like I needed to go back to work. Another reason why I felt so strongly about not going back to work, no matter what my financial situation may or may not have looked like, was that the prospect of the future was far more powerful to me than any false fear of the loss I was taking by leaving behind my career as a teacher. And what I mean by that is, like I said, I had gone into entrepreneurship, I had gone into investorship, and I knew that I now had the time and the mental peace to really double down on my business and my investments and really make it not just a side hustle for me now, but a living. So I'm speaking to anybody right now that is hanging in the balance and knows that they're sitting on $1 million idea, but their job is taking away their time, their creativity, their energy, all of the things that could be funneling into this $1 million idea. I was balancing those two ideas as well. Having a baby really kind of catapulted me into one direction, and that might not be the case for someone watching this. But in general, just understand that there is a certain level of boldness that you're going to have. There's a certain level of faith that you're going to have to run toward in order to actually see that idea into fruition. It's going to be really hard pressed for you if you are operating in comfort and fear and, really kind of double dutching with the next step. So I'm not saying to quit. I'm not saying to just up and leave your job like I did. But what I am saying is that doing that actually helped me get in full gear into going into full launch mode in my business. But above all, one of the staple reasons why I left and I felt really good about it was that I had a brand new bundle of joy, and I could not fathom leaving her and not being there to witness her milestones in real time. This is not going to be the case for everybody, but for me, I did not care. I did not care what income I was cutting off. I did not care what was going to happen to the bills and all of that. That took a back seat to actually being present and saying, hey, listen, I'm going to be here for my baby, and I don't care what I have to sacrifice. I'm going to be here. And I really want to talk about how God honors when you step out on faith. Now, you want to make sure that it's God telling you to take this step, and it's not just you feeling emotional or making an impulsive decision. I knew crystal clear that this was God telling me to leave and not go back. I mean, there was just so many signs pointing to the fact that I was in a chokehold. I couldn't even really go back if I wanted to because there was just so many other things riding on me being home and being present. However, when I did take that leap of faith, God confirmed for me that this was something that He really wanted for me because He came through in so many ways. One of the primary ways that comes to my mind is my health insurance. Your health insurance is supposed to get cut off after 12 weeks. I had my health insurance for another year. For whatever reasons, the DOE passed the union policy that year. Basically, my health insurance was able to stay on for a whole other year, and it did not get cut off actually until my daughter turned 1. I know that that's a lot of the reason why people also go back to work. They don't want to lose their health insurance. For me, I didn't care. I was going to figure it out, and God helped me for an extra year so that I can work the puzzle pieces together, all while my health insurance was still active. Another way that God came through during this time was that in January of 2022, I started a completely new business venture, and that business venture actually made me more money in a year than my previous business venture had made me in 2 years. So in this time, I was able to take on more clients, get more clarity on what it is that I wanted to do in the business and investorship world. And I started new projects that were going to be bringing in income as well. And overall, because the majority of my time wasn't going into work and lesson planning and being in meetings and commuting and all of those other things, I was able to be more clear-headed and get more creative. And I came up with so many new business ideas in 2022 that are launching in this year and beyond that are also going to be more streams of income for me. And then just because God works in such funny ways, I was not stressed about money at all. When you become an entrepreneur and even an investor, your income is not stable. One month you might have $5,000. The next month you might not make anything. If you are in business, you understand that from month to month, the income is going to vary. But I never stressed about money. The bills were always paid on time. And I could count at least 2 to 3 times that I received a check in the mail from money that was owed to me or money that I didn't even know I had stashed up in places that were coming to me in the form of a check that gave me some more breathing room. I cannot make this up. God is amazing when you are obedient and following his instructions. I want to talk to you guys about why I will likely never go back to the classroom or a full-time job for that matter. I've learned in life to never say never because you never know where life is going to lead you, but it's highly likely that I'm not going to go back to the workforce. And if I do, it's not going to be for a long time. One of the main reasons for that is because I simply know too much. And I understand now how to leverage my time in a way that I did not understand when I was taking on career jobs and thinking that that was the only way that I could make money. Think about it like this. When I left teaching, I was making, give or take, a little less than $4,000 a month. Let's just call it $4,000 for the sake of this example. Now, that was going to take me about 40 hours a week at 4 weeks a month to make that kind of money. I understand now that I can still teach, but I can do so in leveraging my time rather than putting in the time hour for hour to make that kind of money. For example, if I record myself one time and I sell a course at $100 a pop, all I have to do is sell that course 40 times in a month to replace the income that I was making as a teacher. Is it going to take some work to set up the course? Of course. Are there going to be some glitches, some things along the way that I have to remedy and troubleshoot and fix and work out? Of course. Nothing in life comes simple, but I understand that my time is so much more valuable now. So I'm not going to put in the same amount of hours to get a certain amount of income when I know that I can leverage my time and make the same income with way less time put in. I learned that there are so many other ways that I could be making my monthly income as a teacher and beyond that in the business and investorship space. So because I know so much, when your mind gets expanded, it's really hard for it to retract back to the state that it was once in. Guys, I know too much. I've seen too much. I've sat at too many tables with multimillionaires, and my environment and my mindset has just completely shifted. So I'm going to be really hard pressed to be at someone's job ever again. And I really want to talk about the biggest commodity in life, which is time freedom. A lot of people want financial freedom, and I want that too. And I'm heading that way. And I want to help other moms and women in general create that financial freedom for themselves. But I need you to understand that having freedom of your time is like nothing that you can ever have in this life. We know that time is far greater than any dollar amount. Just being able to design my day the way I want to has been so powerful. And I'm not talking about being able to sleep in longer and all of those things that we really want the time freedom for, right? But I want you to think of it like this. When you are the one that's in command of your day, you're actually building character. These days, I am the one that's making myself get up at a certain time. I'm the one that's structuring my day out a certain way. I'm the one that's remaining disciplined and making sure that I get certain things done in a certain time frame. What that does is it proves to yourself that you can trust yourself. Of course, we can all get to work on time when someone else is telling us to do it and when there's a punishment involved if we don't do it. But if you can design your day, if you can give yourself a course of action for the day and stick to it, that is building up so much more character and so much more trust for yourself than any job can ever give you. So I've learned the skill of how to manage my time because I am the one in control of it. As promised, if you made it all the way through to this part of the video, I'm going to be giving you guys the details on how you can access my free downloadable, The New Mom's Guide to an Extended Maternity Leave. 7 financial tips for extending your leave by an extra 3 months or forever. And at the time of filming this video, I have been on maternity leave for 16 months and counting. So if anybody knows how to extend your maternity leave for however long it is that you want, it's this girl right here. So in this guide, I'm going to be talking about some of the tips that helped me, some things that I didn't take advantage of that I wish I would have, but it's all going to be in this guide for you guys. All you have to do is click the link in the description and you can get instant access to this guide. If you're a new mom, if you're expecting, if you are not a mom at all, but you just want to know what's the tea on how I could really bring in more income, I got you in this free guide. Click the link in my description and you can get access. And spoiler alert, one of the tips on there is really how you can start a side hustle. My side hustle turned into a full-blown business for me. So really the idea with this guide is to get your juices flowing and open up your mind to what else is out there and what else is possible. I literally remember thinking that the only way I can make extra money is if I worked extra hours at my job. I would work after school with students and I would do all these clubs and all of these things to make extra money because I didn't fully realize yet that there were other ways to make better use of my time and not compromise my income in the process. And these are just some things that would have never happened to me if I remained at that job and I remained in that mindset. So I'm not telling everybody to up and quit their 9-to-5. That is not what I'm saying. I don't have any beef with someone that works a day job because I understand that it gives you a sense of financial security. But for those of you that have been toying and wrestling with this idea of thinking bigger and thinking more and starting a business and starting to invest and all of the things that sometimes we are scared to take a leap of faith on, hopefully this video encouraged you to see that it's not only possible, but it is probable. If you take a leap of faith, not only are you going to be rewarded for taking that leap of faith, but it's just going to open up a world of possibilities for you. If you've ever heard this concept that a shark in a small tank will only grow 8 inches, but if the shark is in its natural habitat, which is the ocean, it'll grow up to 8 feet. With that being said, ask yourself if you are a shark that was placed into a small tank, or if you are taking full advantage of being in your natural habitat, this big ocean of life that we have, and if you will be able to grow to your fullest potential. So with that being said, guys, thank you for watching this video. Click on the link in the description to get access to that guide, and I will see you guys in the next one.